the BHAW Army Wrestling Radio Podcast. I'm your host tonight, Brian Rowan. Jordan Tom is not with us, but he will be back at some point. He is still, hey, Kevin's giving me the side eye now.
When you say he's not with us, what you mean is the doctors did everything they could, and he's going to be fine.
And he's going to be fine. But we got Pat Smith here, and I think Pat Smith's a little bit more knowledgeable in Army wrestling. Shots fired. I don't know. Jordan Tom, he's got a new baby. He just moved, across the country. He's got his priorities in other places.
I'm kind of in the shadows. Like I'll reference some board activity that I monitor across the EIWA tonight. Like I dig deep, but I just don't let everybody know where I'm at.
Well, it's not going to be the same without JT. We miss him, but Pat, we're glad you're here, and man, we're glad B-Ro's here too. He's hotel living, he's traveling, he's working hard, and always finds time to talk some Army wrestling. So, how's life on the road, B-Ro?
It's good. I mean, it's busy the last couple of days. I've tried to put like 2 weeks of work in 2 days, and knocking it out.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we were going to have a Google Doc for this. And then P Money down there, he decides that, hey, I need a 30-minute delay because my really pregnant wife needs something. So I was like, all right, I can squeeze in this Google Doc now. If I didn't do that, I was going to like put together all these questions were going to be in screenshots, and I was just.
So our listeners and our viewers out there, they don't know that like there's actually some preparation that goes into this.
Believe it or not.
Not on your end.
I don't want anything. Like I'm telling you, I hear the questions for the first time live on the show. I don't want any prep. I don't want to know what's coming. I want to be caught off guard. I want to find the right time to start talking about how B-Ro is so grumpy he can't do CrossFit on the road because he's staying in the hotel and how bummed he is. Like all this
you
stuff
don't want to hear about today.
You're right.
But listen, man,
on the hotel. Whew.
So fill us in, B-Ro. Yeah, what else is new? Before we get into talking some Army wrestling EIWAs, what's new?
So I haven't been able to do CrossFit for 2 days, but I had a horrible, by horrible I mean awesome workout on Sunday, and my calves and hips are demolished. So last night I took the day off and just stretched. I stretched for like an hour in the hotel. I
don't know anything about CrossFit at all. I've never done it, but I do know a little bit about working out. And if you're talking about how sore your calves are, I'm questioning what kind of workout you're doing. Like if that's what you're talking about, my calves are so sore. I'm going to start questioning your training a little bit. Like my neck, my back,
so my
body is sore. You start talking about your calves being sore, I'm a little skeptical. I'm just going to say that, and then you go from there.
Okay. Have you ever exercised on a ski erg, like the ski erg?
Yeah, I've done those.
Yeah. So when you're a shorter guy, you get longer pulls if you go up on your tippy toes and pull from there. And so part of the workout was like 10,000 meters between three of us. And so that turned into, 300 repetitions of me going to my tippy toes and pulling really hard. And so I don't normally go on my tippy toes that much. So now my calves are really sore.
That's enthralling.
You know what? Maybe we should just start talking some Army wrestling. Like maybe we should just get to it like right now.
So Army finishes 30 IWAs. It was a 3-team race, pretty close. They kind of ran away with it a little bit towards the end, then really close, neck and neck with us and Navy, and they pulled ahead. We had 6 qualified for NCAAs with 1 hopeful to receive an at-large. Coach, what are your thoughts?
I thought as a team, like up and down, it was by far our best performance of the year, for sure. So, we leave there. Marcus, we expected him to be able to wrestle. He couldn't wrestle. Just wasn't clear by the medical team to be able to step out there and compete. So that's a lot of team points that you leave behind with Marcus not, I think he was going to win the tournament and didn't get a chance to do it. So not to take a cheap shot at the guys that did well there. Good job for them, but I thought Marcus was going to win it. That's, whatever 16, 20, 18 points we leave behind with Marcus there. So, you think about those near misses, like as a coach, you just think about, I understand we did really well, but you just got to recognize there were some near misses there. I mean, we were literally 10 seconds of wrestling away from walking out of there with 8 qualifiers waiting on Marcus to be the 9th. Didn't get that done. So, but I mean, overall, you got to be satisfied with the effort the guys put out. We had some freshmen make some mistakes in critical times that cost them and cost some team points and cost them literally it cost them their season. Their season finished like that. And they'll have to learn from it. But I mean, leaving with 6 qualifiers, Marcus is going to get in that large. At least he definitely should. Feel good about that, and just excited to go compete in St. Louis.
Yeah,
they're definitely a couple of heartbreaks watching on Friday. But man, they're freshmen, and like being that close, like it stinks, and it's not. You want to keep your season going, obviously, but there's a lot of hope for the fans out there that watch that, and like looking forward to seeing what these guys are going to do next year.
I mean, yeah, sure. Like as a fan, anybody watching, you get that feeling of there's optimism with what they're going to be capable of doing in the future. I mean, for us, we don't have that luxury right now. There's no moral victories. You wanted to win, you didn't win. That doesn't feel very good. You wanted to go to the NCAA tournament, and instead you're sitting at home watching it on ESPN. That doesn't feel very good. There's no moral victory there. But hopefully it's over in those guys, specifically, Chauvin, Montgomery, Filden, those guys that weren't able to get what they wanted. You're like, well, listen, your career is not over. Your season is, but your career's not. So how are you going to respond to it? How are you going to react? And how are you going to move forward? Make sure that you don't feel this way again 12 months from now. That's what's important to them. For the rest of us, it's how are we going to leave St. Louis feeling really good about the performances that we had. So that's what we have to be focused on right now.
Thinking through it, yeah, it's a lot to process. I mean, I feel like I'm always caught up in not that I take the negative out of everything, but like the negative stands out more than the positive. And you're like, we could have got this there, and
yeah. Well, I mean, you know what, I'll say, I get that, but let me take that approach. I mean, one person taking that approach is probably enough. You guys, you get the luxury of being able to sit back as like really invested fans. But you're outside of the program. You're more inside the program than most fans. But listen, man, you guys celebrate. We've got 6 NCAA qualifiers going to St. Louis right now. That's something that's really good. That doesn't happen every year in our program. At least it didn't used to. It has recently. So that's something to feel good about. Celebrate it. Let me be the one worrying about what's going to happen next year. And you guys just feel good about the guys you have going to St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, I was hopeful for 8 or 9 guys, though. I don't think I'll be celebrating that much.
Okay. All right. Well, me and Pat are going to talk here. Some wrestling. We're going to celebrate together here just a little bit. Anyone that is feeling really bad about Army wrestling right now, just tune in to B-Rose show. And me and Pat here, we're going to celebrate some Army wrestling.
Well, it's crazy that we're even having this conversation too, because what a luxury, like, we're at
here, I think my first year we went with 3 qualifiers. I think one was an at-large bid.
Exactly.
So
that was. Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, go ahead, B-Rob.
I was gonna say that was a norm, but like the norm has changed now to where 6 qualifiers, and it's a good place to be in, where you're 6 qualifiers you're not satisfied with. You're looking at, before you look at, I see Chauvin 8th place at 125. I'm like, we need to be better than that.
Yeah.
I have a part in it.
No, you do. You're in it. We do. Listen, we need to be better than that. 8th place is not good enough. That's the bottom line, and Ryan knows that too. I think anybody knows that. 8th isn't good enough. But look, here's what I look at. Like, if you really want to celebrate some things, Lane Peters is going to the NCAA tournament as a qualifier for the first time. He's been as an alternate, didn't get a chance to compete. Now he's going as a qualifier, as a senior. Awesome. Love that. Taylor Brown, goes as he's a 3-year backup, bumps up a couple weight classes this year, and now he's going to the NCAA tournament at 184 pounds. Awesome. We love to see that. Bobby Hield, was really close as a freshman to qualifying, and then I made the decision the past 2 years to wrestle Ben Sullivan instead of Bobby at the NCAA tournament. And this year we went with Bobby, and he made it count. So there's a senior going to the NCAA tournament. Like, those are, you got to feel good about that. So I'm happy for those guys.
Yeah, that is all. I feel for Lane, especially because, he was not the starter. It felt like for the first almost, half of the season. My first half of the season, it was like 3 weeks or a month.
I mean, it's fair to say he was in a battle. We didn't think that Lane wasn't the starter, but we weren't settled on one guy either. I was thinking, here we go. We got Logan Brown, we got Sanchez, we got Deck, we got Williams, we got Lane. We're going to give everybody that we can opportunities. You got Cole Wyman. It's a deep weight class for us. And I mean, obviously, at the end of the year, we made the right choice, and it made the right choice because Lane made it easy. Lane was like, made it clear that he was supposed to be the guy, and he got the job done. So good for him.
Man, another bright. I mean, you got Ben Pazook. You didn't even mention he's 4th on the list of the congrats, and he made Army history, which is crazy.
Isn't that wild? We've never had a plebe, maybe because plebes weren't allowed to compete in the tournament like years ago. I don't know why we've never had a plebe champ. That blows my mind. But Ben Pazook is the real deal. Like, we've been talking either here on the show or maybe even like offline and just kind of conversations between us. And I've been telling you guys how good Ben is. And all he does is go out there and beat the number 10 guy in the country in the finals. I think the shot count in the final was like 15-0. That was a shot count in the final of the tournament, 15-0 or 15 to 0.5. I think the guy like slapped at his leg once. And as a freshman, to have that kind of composure and that poise in the finals match, to be able to wrestle out of the other guy's positions, because the guy's really good. All he does is walk in there and win a match, tech fall in the semis, and then go beat the number 10 guy in the country in the finals to be our first conference champ in school history as a freshman. Pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and it's his only
Yeah, that was an awesome match.
No kidding, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 majors and a tech, and then going into the finals.
And he would have beat that guy in so many different ways too. Like, he wasn't going to do anything, and Ben was just going to control the whole match. So it didn't matter. A lot of people were complaining about it on Flow because they showed like the 10-second clip of him shooting in. It was like, watch the match.
If you want to feel really bad about the state of the world, just read the comments in any Flow Instagram post. Like, if you,
I avoid it.
It's like, you just read Flow the comments there. It's not a good place to be. I would recommend you get out of there ASAP. I'll tell you, here's a Ben Pazook story. So all I hear about all the time is how strong he is. Everybody that wrestles him, it's like he's crazy strong. And I haven't been wrestling with guys this year. I mean, there's COVID. There's I don't feel like wrestling with these young guys anymore. It hurts too much the next day. I enjoy being able to get out of bed and walk the next morning. So I just don't wrestle that much anymore. But so today in practice, I'm like, all right, let me see what this is all about. So during the warm up, I was like, come on, Ben, I got to see what these guys are talking about. So I start kind of hand fighting and wrestle with Ben a little bit. And then he kind of snaps or whatever, and he double legs me. And I'm like, I didn't even want to make a noise, but I was, he hit me hard. And somebody else was drilling like over next to us, and they were, Ben, that's your coach. Take it easy. I was like, all right, I get it now. I was like, this is what everybody's talking. The dude is like a freaking tank. When he gets to your legs, he's a lot like Russ Parsons. If you guys remember Russ, like if he gets to your leg, there's no stopping. Like when he's there, he's a freaking tank. I mean, the kid is strong. If you watch that position at the end of Ben's match in the EIWA finals, he's on that single leg, he does that little head wheel, pops his head out, and he's squeezing the guy's leg. He knows he already has a match won, and you can see him holding his position there like it's freaking like a brick wall. I mean, the dude is strong. He's ready. He is mentally, he believes it. I'm excited for him for sure.
He's like a really powerful gun, almost like a bazooka.
Like boom. I knew it was supposed to stick at some point. We've been calling him Bazooka for months now. And now it's stuck.
And the crazy thing, I was thinking about it this week a lot so far is like, man, will there be an asterisk this year, because of the Ivy's not there? And so I scoured through all the Ivy, lineups, kind of see who their 140, 174s would be. And it's kind of a shame because he would he was better than every single Ivy, wrestler. And not to say that that's like a thing, but some people will be like, but that was the COVID year, not knowing, unless he goes out, in NCAAs and, does what, we know he can do.
Well, okay, so yeah, no, there's no asterisk, right? I don't believe in that, but you make a really good point, Bureau. Like, okay, you want to take away any doubt, whatever, go to St. Louis, put on a show, walk out of there carrying a trophy. Nobody has anything to say. So that's what we got to do now.
So the starters doubled their matches pretty much for the most part for the year. A couple guys only had 2 or 3, and you got to see a whole tournament. Any big trends, big picture stuff for the team you're going to look at focusing on in the next couple of weeks, or just trends you want to carry forward to the tournament? Just getting a bigger a match count.
So there's no major adjustments our guys need to make, but some small things cost some matches and cost us some team points. So we got to fix those things. There's small technical things. We got to be able to finish some single legs a little bit better. Lane Peters is a good example. He's in on the legs early in the finals. If he gets on top a minute into the match, that match is different. Didn't finish the single leg. And the ref stopped it, when it really wasn't potentially dangerous. We didn't like the call, but we didn't finish either. So that's an example, small changes like that, that we have to make. And then we can build on some of the really positive things, like we had several matches where we rode people out, had some really tough, gritty ride outs to be able to win. And we had some matches where we got ridden when we didn't need to, so some small things there, like let's keep having those tough, gritty ride outs, and let's find a way to get some escapes when we have to have them. So it's just small things we got to build on and small adjustments we need to make. These aren't major changes. It's not like go back to the drawing board type of deal. It's make some minor adjustments, and now you're in contention, to be on the podium in St. Louis. And these are totally doable things.
Yeah, I feel like Jordan would ask the question, so I'll ask it for him. What do you think about the refs this weekend?
I think what I thought the entire season, by and large, they were really good. And they do a good job. It's not an easy thing to do. I got to do a better job kind of controlling myself a little bit in one situation. I lost a team point after PJ won the title at 149 pounds. And didn't need to lose a team point there, and what I said, it's total BS. They took a team point, by the way. Like, I didn't say anything. Yeah. Like, I told the ref it was a ridiculous call. And he took a team point. I said, that was a ridiculous call. That's what I said. I said, that was a ridiculous call. And he, waddled up to the table and
reel it in a little bit.
Yeah. Right. So I go talk to the head official after that. Because I'm trying to get some clarification, like what did he call me for? He told the head official he called me for badgering. You go back and you watch the film, he called me for control of mat. I think he was really flustered. Like he didn't know what he called. He just knew he didn't like me very much. Is kind of what it boiled down to, because if you watch the video, you got to watch the video. After the match, you see him kind of waddle over to the table and put up his finger, and he's like mad. This guy's pretty mad. But to lose a team point for telling a ref it was a ridiculous call, obviously, he was kind of at his wit's end at that point. He must have had a long day, but no, I didn't. There's some him in particular. There were some judgment situations I didn't agree with, going back to the 2 previous dual meets before that too. So it was maybe a lot that kind of came to a head there. Called PJ for stalling when he had chased a guy around the mat for 6.5 minutes. I thought was unwarranted and could have affected the outcome of the match. I said it was a ridiculous call. That's really the only thing I look back at and think, as far as one individual call, I think that was total horseshit. And that's just the one that I look at that I think was really bad. Other than that, it's what you expect. We have some good officials in this league. It's not an easy job. Coaches make it tougher. But yeah, we have some good officials.
Well, losing a team point, that stinks, but I really appreciated your reaction because I was freaking out at home while I was watching, like screaming at the refs, and my pregnant wife's on the couch. Like, I'm probably raising her anxiety level, but I'm like, look, Coach Ward just lost a team point. It's totally justified.
Yeah, you're just trying to go ahead and have a kid. Like, you're trying to get the heart rate up. Let's go ahead. Let's
and she's like, I don't care. I don't care what you're talking about.
Tell her I'm really sorry.
Pat, that's when we needed a Zoom room of fellow Army fans to settle you down. We should have had a Zoom for the finals.
Well, what did you guys think? I mean, I talk about this all the time. I don't ever get, what did you guys think about our wrestling? And B-Row, I know you're going to be critical, whatever. You're going to say it wasn't that good. But I want to hear from our fans. Like, what did you guys think?
I was a little let down with Montgomery. Just, that overtime, just he's better than Allen, so, and Allen, wrestled a good match, and he wrestled a good, I was worried going into that because he wrestled a really good quarterfinal match and had some momentum on his side. So I was like, man, this is going to be a different match, than, maybe the dual meet. And he's got that chip on his shoulder too, but, really happy with Lane Peters. I mean, I feel like he's perfected his style and his game plan, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's like, when he steps to the line in the third period on neutral, like he knows exactly what he's doing. And it's such a humble brag move right there. And like, I'm sure he's listening and he knows like that we talk about.
That's a boss move. Yeah. What'd you think about PJ, Pat?
Oh, I love watching him wrestle every second. I love seeing people break underneath of him. I mean, Hoffman gave up in the last, he literally just pulled PJ on top of him and went to his back. I was like, dude, you're such a joke. You held onto an arm for 6.5 minutes and didn't do anything. And in the last 5, you're just going to fall on your back.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, Hoffman's good too. That's the thing. It's like, I got a lot of respect for him. He beat PJ twice last year. I mean, the guy's really good. PJ's just kind of jumped levels. It's the bottom line. He's a completely different wrestler. Think about this. The guy he majored in the semifinals beat him last year. And then all PJ does is go out and major decisioning in the semi. Maybe they didn't even give him the major, huh? You know what? That was the same ref. That's kind of one of those things I was thinking about. It was the same ref that didn't give him the major decision in the semifinals, I think. But I mean, it was a major. And so PJ is like, he's on fire. He can beat anybody in the country. That's not even in doubt. So excited for him in his tournament.
Yeah, I was a little going into the finals there. I was like, man, Hoffman's had a really good tournament. Maybe he's just like was kind of warming up into the year and like wasn't himself. And then so I was like, okay, this could be a scrap. And PJ just took it to him. And I was like, man, no, nothing's changed. He's had a good tournament, but PJ just rises to the occasion and he just continues to get better throughout the match too.
He's a real deal. He gets better every match. He gets better, and he gets better as the match goes on. Yeah, he's a handful, man. He's going to be trouble in St. Louis.
Clayton was a lot of fun to watch in every single match.
Yeah,
I mean, first time seeing him go out there. I thought he was going to throw a couple people to their back a couple of times, but I mean, he's all over the place. So he was a lot of fun to watch, and just another one where 5 more seconds fighting off a single leg. And
I mean, you look at his last match, like ride the guy for 5 seconds at the end of the first period. Don't give up a stall call in the third period. Don't give up a takedown at the end. I'm not saying this to rub salt in the wound because he's hurting. Like, he knows how close he was, and that hurts him. He's not a guy that you got to explain to, like, this is what happened. He gets it. He knows, and he's hurting. But he was that close, But he's a lot of fun to watch. He goes hard. And I'm telling you, it's like the improvements he's made in one season. You'd want to say, just imagine if he had 30 matches this year. But whatever. That's wishful thinking. But he works. Like, that's not an accident that he has made that much improvement. He works incredibly hard. He's still in the room working really hard, trying to improve. So yeah, look out for him. We got 3 more seasons with him to be able to right some of those wrongs. So he'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to cut to 65 next year, though. He's gonna have to maybe build up or.
No, he can make it
for another day, but
no, he can make it. He made it this year on a couple of weeks' notice. We said, "Hey, you certified at 65. Do you want to do it?" Absolutely, I want to do it. Okay. Just imagine, if he knows he wants to stay at 65 year round, he can keep he's a disciplined guy. So he can keep his weight down year round and within striking distance. He can do it. If he wants to do it, he can do it.
So we talked about.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Big Bobby Hill coming through there, his semifinals match?
It was
that match got me pumped up.
It left no doubt.
Was that sick or what?
Oh yeah.
That was maybe my favorite match of the weekend, watching him, lift Birchmeyer up, put him on his back, and then just
for a second time. That was the second time he got near fall.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching Bob's match from across the gym because I think I'd just come off another mat. Maybe it was JT versus Kozer right before that. And I was on the other side of the gym. So I was like wrestling Bob's match with him, as he picked him up, put him on his back. I mean, that was maybe one of the highlights of the weekend for me. Just, I'm so happy for Bob because I know how bad he wanted it. And he didn't have very pleasant things to say about his opponent, coming off the mat. Like, it was like he wanted that match. And to see him get it back, feels to him like he kind of righted a wrong a little bit,
when he came down, I could just imagine how like the Navy fans just how scary it was in the Spooky Nook when Birchmeyer's.
I was wondering how long it was gonna take. It was terrifying.
And that's coming off the loss to JT too. So that was back-to-back Navy guys.
That was good. Yeah, those guys, they competed well. We had a good semifinal round, close to, we already mentioned one, and kind of led another. But all in all, good semifinal round and strong tournament. We were in position to be one of the top two teams and came up a little bit short, but St. Louis, we're coming. We're fired up for it.
What was that illegal move with JT and Kozer that he got
back trip? Right, he was trying to back trip him. He was hanging on him, and
you can't leave both feet when you're in a rear standing position. You can't leave both feet if you're the offensive man.
Okay, because the camera was kind of like moving off. I wasn't sure if maybe it was locked hands, and they didn't really clarify what it was.
Yeah, you can't leave both feet, and they challenged it, but it was like, it was an obvious illegal move. It was, it was pretty clear. So, yeah, when you find ways, JT had a tough ride out 30 seconds before that, and I asked JT in between, I said, well, what do you want to do here? Do you want to go neutral, or you want to pick bottom and win it right here? He said, I want to go bottom. So he chose bottom and got close to getting away, drove out of bounds, got to his feet again. The guy on top kind of panicked, and illegal move. We got it. We'll take it. JT did a good job.
Going back to Bobby's big lift, did we have a videographer on site? Are we gonna get?
Yeah. Be looking. And he said that's probably gonna be. Yeah, he said that's gonna be like that's gonna kick off his video too. But yeah, our man John Broughton was there. He was running around the mats with his camera. So
I can't wait to see that.
No, it'll be sick. I know he'll do something good with it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't. I had a bunch of stuff going on Friday. I was talking to Willie on Thursday night, and he's like, hey, if you came here tomorrow, like, you could just walk in, just act like you're here. I was like, what color wristband you got? He's like, they didn't give them to us yet. But I had so much stuff going on Friday, or else I would. It's only like an hour and 45 minutes away from where I'm at, so it was.
And it'll probably be the last time our conference tournament's there. But Will's right. They did a fantastic job putting the tournament on, but it wasn't like we didn't have a whole platoon of police officers there, making sure that only the right credentialed people got in. So it was pretty open. Yeah, but did you watch on Flow? How was the coverage?
It was good. It was really good.
They did a good job.
Good.
Yeah, I watched most of the matches. There was some going on like at the same time. They didn't have like a split screen kind of thing, and I didn't have like dual monitors going on. And sometimes Flow doesn't let you like watch on multiple devices. Sometimes they'll like kick you off.
Yeah, you get kicked out.
But it was good. It was really good.
Yep.
Good, man. Well, did we have anybody write in? Did we have any Q&As?
Oh, we got a lot of questions. So
we do. Let's get to them.
So I feel like last week we didn't have a lot of questions. And so I was like, man, maybe it's my approach on it. So I strategically used the JT chain picture on Facebook because I knew that would get some likes and some laughing things. So it would hit people's algorithm a little bit more so they'd see it. And then on Instagram, when I asked the question, I put his picture up next and tagged him because I knew he would reshare the story and that would draw more people to check out our story and ask questions.
Brilliant.
So maybe I'm like a
now,
micro guru now, but
now I'm starting to wish I did read these questions beforehand because I'm afraid what's coming. But yeah, no, we do this. I'm in the dark, but hit me with it. What do we got?
the first one's coming from Lane Peters.
LP.
How did Coach Ward acquire such a good sense of fashion?
LP, it's not from JT Brown. All right. It's not from Corey Shy. It's not from Owen Brown. I don't know, LP. Thanks. All I got to say is I appreciate you, Lane. I appreciate you. Make me feel good. That's good when your athlete makes the coach feel good like that. Thanks, LP.
All right, Rudy Chlednick. Does Coach Ward think JT can develop a good enough front headlock to defeat Chick in a battle to the death?
Are we talking about Dan Chigarelli?
No, I don't. Did you read Chick's 4-count?
Are you talking? So we're talking about Chigarelli. You mean develop a front like he doesn't have one already?
Yep.
No, well, it's really important. Did you read Chick's 4-count?
No.
So one of his, and some of his was good, but one of his.
Now we're talking about Chick. He's not even on the show, and we're talking behind his back now.
But no, not behind his back. This is he's gonna be listening. But one of his critiques is like, hey, he's like, I realized that that JT he's missing something, and he's missing a front headlock, and he goes in the comment to like talk a little bit of technique, and if he can develop it between now and NCAA's, he's going to be like a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I know what we're working on tomorrow. I can just tell you that.
And then he came back in the comments after that and said that if we get 2 All-Americans, that he'll wrestle JT in a match live on BHAW Radio.
He about to get his ass front headlocked a few times. This is what's going to happen.
You guys want to see a dead body?
Yeah. He's about to get front headlocked a couple dozen times, or once, whatever it takes. JT's pretty strong. So the answer, Rudy, yes.
So Rudy also asks, how has the dead period changed the recruiting for the upcoming year?
Oh, God, it's brutal. It's freaking brutal. Because you guys know as good as anybody, the best thing about West Point is being here and being with the people that are here. You can read about it. You understand the prestige, you understand the education, you understand the opportunities. But until you're here and you're around the people that are at West Point, your teammates, coaches, the other, your instructors and ORs, you don't really capture how truly special it is. And we haven't been able to have kids on campus. So we've had to adapt and recruit in a different way, but it's brutal. You want kids on campus, you want to spend some time with them. You want them to spend time with your team. We haven't been able to do it. So it's completely changed the game. It really hasn't slowed us down. We have really good classes we've put together, but it's such a 180 from what we've usually done.
So this is a big one, kind of loaded. Why wasn't Hartman replaced? Rather than getting 0 points at 157. That's
from our boy Nick Haley.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. It's a procedural question, really. Hartman's got a really, really good chance at getting that large bid for the NCAA tournament. And if you replace him, he has 0 chance. It's done. The only people that can go to the NCAA tournament are the ones at your conference tournament. That's it. And Hartman's got the resume and the credentials to get an at-large bid. So for us, it's an easy decision, to be honest. Totally worth it. It's about setting your individuals up to be the best at the NCAA championships, and you can't be your best if you're not there. So it's a painful decision, but it was a good one, and the right one to make. Is he hated that Marcus hated walking out there and having an injury default. He was torn up over it, and seeing him how much he hated it kind of got me a little emotional a little bit. I was like, God, I hate it for him. We won't have to do this again. Let's get your mind ready, keep your mind ready, and we'll get your body ready, and you'll be wrestling in St. Louis. But yeah, Nick, the bottom line is for him to go to St. Louis, that was the only option we had.
So when do the at-large bids come out?
It's the 9th or the 10th. So
Monday, right?
Yeah, we've got another few days. We've got a week from tomorrow. Yeah, next Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the Real Woods drama and all that.
Yeah.
Nobody asked questions about that, but any comment on that? He not having 4 matches. You think the appeal will go through, or is there
I
any
mean,
buzz around the
so a
coaches
couple
talking
things.
about it?
One, the 4-match minimum doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I don't understand it. Why? Like if you know this is what you have to do at the conference tournament, why does it matter how many matches you've had? I don't understand that. On the flip side of that, you understand you need 4 matches, and we've all known this since like November. So not a lot of sympathy for somebody that doesn't have 4 matches, because you've known it for as long as I have, and everybody else in the country has found a way to get 4 matches. I mean, but here, you know, the reality of it is, it's just, I mean, these are real student athletes it impacts. So it's easy to sit back and think about it like it's pretty black and white. But in reality, I mean, these are college athletes' lives involved. So no, I mean, it's not a decision for me to make. I don't know all the ins and outs. But we have known forever it's 4 matches. He has a chance to probably get a match between now and next weekend. Or this coming weekend. If anybody agrees to wrestling, then he gets a 4th match. We'll see what happens.
Could they sanction like an inter-squad duel and he wrestles somebody on his team?
No, you can't do it in matches with your own team. Don't count, but you can schedule a match with literally any other Division I team and just have 1 match.
And I heard that the EIWA, I was listening to FRL today, they had it like built into the tournament bracket or schedule. If somebody didn't have 4 matches, that they could wrestle like a match after the tournament, like during it or something. That's what they said.
No, that's I didn't listen to it, and that's probably why, because that's, you know, total BS. We had actually talked about that and decided against it. We're not having extra matches after the tournament to get somebody to the 4-match minimum. So,
dang, Kyle Bradkey was wrong. Hope he's listening.
Fake news. That was.
The next question from Christian Snook, and we may need some clarification on this because part of this question came from a group text. Can you confirm or deny that the inside trip is dead?
Confirm it's alive. I can confirm that it's very much alive.
I didn't see, so, and this came up because I was known for my inside trip in college. If I was known for anything, it was that.
And you still are, B-Row, by the way.
But I commented in our group text, I was like, is this dead? Because I haven't seen 1 inside trip the entire tournament, and I watched a lot of matches.
I saw a couple attempts.
Yeah, no, it's still very much alive. I mean, it may be hanging on by a thread, but it's still very effective. It's very much alive.
Well, I'm hoping it's dead because then people won't know it's coming at Midlands this year.
So you're hoping. Yeah, listen.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's dead.
It's dead. We'll never see it again, ever, especially not at 184 pounds at Midlands.
It's 74.
Okay, you're going down?
It's 84. My God, I can make that right now.
You're just you're just like 100 burpees away.
Oh, man. That's like 3 minutes away.
Yeah.
Pat, you want to ask the next one?
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is a high school student.
No, it's not. Say who it is.
So this is Tyler Rodriguez.
No, you're skipping.
I am skipping because I'm really interested in.
Oh, okay. This is great radio, by the way.
Yeah. How do you decide if a wrestler is good enough to compete at the Division I level for Army? So I'm assuming this is like a high school kid.
Well, I can't respond to high school and recruitable athletes, but I will answer B-Row's question. He asked me earlier about how I decide that if someone's good enough to make our squad, B-Row. Ultimately, I don't. They do. But through the recruiting process, I've got to determine, here's the thing. I don't want to bring anybody into our team to be last place on the depth chart. Like, there's no reason to add somebody that's going to be the worst, right? You add people that make you better. So every year that gets harder to do. But what we got to do is, can you compete at this level? What can you bring something to the team we don't have now? And if they can do that, then they have an opportunity to make our team. There's more that goes into it for sure, but I think in a nutshell, that's it. Like, do you bring something to the team that we either one, don't have, or two, we have right now, but we're graduating, we're losing, that we're not going to have next year. That's what we look at.
So
Also, Tyler, just go ahead and send him your film. He'll let you know.
wait, what?
I said, go ahead and send him your film. He'll let you know.
I will.
Pat's not wrong.
So Sam Ruda asks, and we didn't realize it. Sam Ruda is Mark Montgomery's roommate's father.
I didn't know this either. And then Mark came and told me, he was like, I have to let you know. And I was glad he did. So our farm boy, Montgomery, he's getting a lot of love out there. Yeah, what Sam needs to know.
Is Willie road tripping to the Army versus Air Force baseball game this weekend? Willie, as in my cat, who's not here because I'm on the road. No, Willie is the official mascot of BHAW Radio, and he would not be seen dead or alive at a non-wrestling event.
Even if it's baseball, because you know Sam's son plays baseball here. Come on.
No.
Come on, B-Row.
I don't make these decisions. Willie does.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah. And listen, I've seen Willie. He's battle hardened, seasoned vet. I ain't arguing. All right. He's battle tested.
All right. David Collinger, why would B-Row try and debate Willie Saylor on Twitter?
B-Row.
What are you doing?
B-Row, I told you.
I know.
What did I tell you? What's the famous Mark Twain quote? What did I tell you?
Let me see.
I'll just tell you. Listen, you never get in an argument with an idiot. They bring you down to their level and beat you with experience. You don't do it.
I screenshot and sent that to you and Jordan as like, come on, guys, help me out. Like, I need to respond to this.
I
And
don't,
guys
you know.
just sent me
Let me
nothing.
put it to you in simpler terms. You know, like something my dad may have said to me. All right. You know, like you roll around with pigs, you smell like shit. All right. So you just pick and choose your battles. All right. Willie Saylor is not an idiot. He's not a pig. But he is a showman and kind of a shock jock. And he knows his audience. He knows how to get a reaction. I don't know if he always believes he's as right as he says he is, but that's part of the thing. And he got you, man. You
Did get me, and I want to hear how you would respond. So the listeners know, you know, he was a little bit, you know, upset that the EIWA got the allocations for the Ivy Leagues, and we've talked on here, you know, a few times about, okay, well, what's the process? You know, what the process should be. And so me being like, oh, this is the best process. I didn't go at him. I didn't like entice him. And he responded like, I'm an idiot. But I just said, hey, what would you do? What would you do? And I thought his response, other than like him, like, you know, making fun of me pretty much in the tweet, you know, was like, hey, just make those at-large bids, you know, for the schools that weren't competing this year. And I was like, I kind of agree with that.
How many more at-large bids would that be?
I'd say probably 20 to 25.
Let's say probably. So how many is it really? Just say you don't know because you don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking in my
So
head.
you're agreeing with something that you don't even know. That's what I'm getting at. Is you're saying, oh, that's pretty good. I agree with that. But you don't even know what it is. So you're that easy to persuade that you're agreeing with him when you don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
What I'm saying is.
So here's what I'm saying.
Okay, say the number's 20, say the number's 25 or 30, whatever that number is, those qualifiers should not be allocated in that conference.
How many at-larges are there per weight class right now, currently this year?
I think there's like
I'll tell you, there's either 6 or 7. Yeah, there's either 6 or 7 per weight class. So, I mean, how many more do you want to add to it? And do you know how at-larges are selected? And do you know how at-larges are going to be selected this year as opposed to every other year? It's not an easy thing to do. And really the last thing you want to do is give the championships committee, which is, I think it's 2 wrestling coaches, a member of the NCAA, and 2 athletics administrators. Do you really want them picking who goes to the NCAA tournament? Or would you rather say, which is also imperfect, would you rather say, here's what you have to do this year to go? You have to get 4 matches and place within this number of spots at your conference tournament. Or would you rather say, I don't know, I'm just going to try to have a really good year and hope that this administrator from Bakersfield picks me to go to the NCAA tournament? So while Willie's not wrong, you are wrong for agreeing with something that you don't understand. But there's no question the EIWA came out ahead on this deal. There's absolutely no question. But it's not nearly as much as people think. 65? No, not even 65.
The MAC was actually worse.
Actually. What's that?
The MAC was actually like they got a little bit more leeway than even the EIWA.
Did they? I mean, at 84, we didn't need 6 bids at 84. We know that. But if you look at some other weight classes, it really wasn't that out of line in the EIWA. And there's 6 or 7 at-larges. The last thing most coaches want is for the coaches poll to mean more, because every coach is biased. And you don't want the championships committee to be picking who's going to the NCAA tournament. Leave it up to the wrestlers. So listen, I get it. It's an easy thing to talk about. It's an easy thing to complain about, because all it takes is one person to complain. Somebody else says, yeah, they're right, doesn't think for themselves. And all of a sudden there's a movement, with one person ringing the bell and a bunch of sheeple following him around. But the bottom line is it's not as out of whack as most people want you to think it is.
We'll move on.
Have I made my stance pretty clear on that? I'm not sure.
You look at the Big 12 and they've got, 12 guys ranked at 165 and they've got 5 slots or 6 slots. And it's like, there's, they have more ranked guys and there can even have extra allocations. And it's like, so when you apply the whole rule and not like some of it to some areas.
How many of them how many spots do they have at 165?
Either 5 or 6. And
then how many are ranked in the top 28?
I think all 12 is what.
Or in the top 28?
Yeah.
It's going to work itself out, I think, with the at-large bids. Every year there's people on the outside in, or on the outside looking in. We know that. It's not perfect. But I think by and large, it's going to work itself out this year with, there's 6 or 7 at-large bids per weight class. That's a lot. There's usually 3 or 4, maybe 5. So there's more this year. I hope it works out.
Yeah. So moving on. Okay. What was from boy Nick Haley? What was your biggest unexpected result, good and bad, at EIWAs?
Unexpected. You kind of go in. I expected, between 33 and 65. I thought we'd have somebody qualify at those 2 weights. I really did. I thought one of those 2 guys, just play the odds. One of them's going to get in. I really expected that. But I'm splitting hairs here. Both of those freshmen fought hard. Both of them really wanted it. Not knocking them. Hopefully it's motivation for them to come back and do better things. Pleasant surprise. Like I said, I think Bobby Hill, I was just so pumped for him. And the way that he made it to the finals and punched his ticket to go to the tournament. Just because I've had to sit down in my office with Bobby the past 2 years and tell him I'm picking somebody else over you. That's a painful conversation to have. It's way more painful for that to be told to you. And I've had to tell him that. He's had to sit there and take it for the past 2 years with me telling him I'm going with somebody else. Well, I want to wrestle him off. No, we're not doing that. I'm picking him. So to see Bobby punch his ticket, and be able to do what he did, I'm just happy for him, man. Because I know how bad he wanted it. I know what it means to him. I know how much he deserves it, flat out. He deserves it. So that wasn't really a surprise, but that was a high moment. That was good.
And if anybody else deserves it, it's his mom.
100%. And she has commented on this video before you said that, guaranteed.
So Kevin Lieberts asks, why is the picture of Coach Shuck on the website from his Wisconsin Whitewater days?
I don't know. There's no possible way that it is, because he's got
say no to purple.
Yeah, you're looking at the wrong. Is it really? I got to look it up. There's no way. There's no way.
I'm looking it up right now.
No, that's got to be an old shot. I'm calling false on that one. There's no way.
While he looks that up, Nick asks, after NCAAs, can the team continue to have organized practices with coaches?
Yep, we can. We'll take a couple week break, just kind of hit pause and refresh, recoup a little bit, and then we'll train pretty much the entire month of April. We're kind of back in the season. So yeah, we get that.
Confirmed. I mean, it's a shirt and tie. Like if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh, he's dressed up. And then when you close into it, the shirt is purple.
It won't be that way next year. All right. Guaranteed. And
Listen,
why my picture
looks like
7 years ago? If you look at my headshot too, I look like a kid on there. I'm like, oh my gosh. I tried to redo my headshot this year, but then everything got closed down the day I was trying to do it. Like I was dressed up, ready to roll too. But yeah, so we all have to update. That's what I'm saying.
You need a bearded one for sure. Let's see. The next question from Nick. This is the last question too. Do you see a potential 4-year starter plebe coming in next year?
Oh, we've got some good guys. It's like I got to be careful, I think, about who I'm allowed to mention by name. The answer is yes, definitely. I see that every year, by the way. But we have some good guys coming in straight out of high school. And we have one hell of a prep school team right now. And these guys, are going to be hungry and they're super talented. So I'm not going to go into weight classes because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention people by name. But the answer is yeah. We have really good recruiting class and prep school team together right now. They'll be stepping in, ready to rock and roll.
I guess I have a follow-on question to that. Like, do the guys, like, considering like you're always recruiting more talented guys than the ones that are there, do they ever like feel like, man, I have to, like, in a sense of urgency to get, to keep continuing to progress and get better? Like, man, this is my spot now, but like next year someone's going to come in and they're going to be on my, right on my tail, beat me out of the spot.
On their butt, BHAW, you can say it. This is adult radio.
Hey, Matthew Simpson listens to this.
That's right, Matt, and I'm glad that you do, Matthew. And we should watch our words just a little bit more, Miss Simpson. I'm terribly sorry.
That was ridiculous, Kevin.
That was. That's so people handle it different ways. Some of them, and I even felt this, back when I was in college, like, it's human, and you got to guard against the feeling like, oh man, they don't believe in me. They want somebody else. That's not it. It's easy to just kind of lean that direction, but that's not the answer. The answer is, like, I better prove this is my spot. And everybody gets to that realization at some point. The quicker you get to it, the better you're going to be. It's like, competition is good. And it's our job as coaches to bring in the most competitive people that we can. That's why we brought them there in the first place, right? So hopefully there's some urgency and hopefully there's no perceived pecking order in the lineup, like every year, earn your spot. Every week, earn your spot. It's nothing's a given. Yeah,
well, that wraps up for all the questions. I think for next week, I think we should try to do this after the brackets come out.
Okay. Oh shoot, yeah, that'll be like probably on Thursday. We'll get together Thursday. Maybe it'll drop next Friday and kind of a bracket reaction. Let's go.
Fired up.
All right.
Well, the brackets come out like a full week before, right now?
I think the selection show was, like I said, it's the 9th or 10th. I think the brackets will drop then. Yeah, a week before.
That's wild.
That's wild. Let's go.
Man, if they do that for Midlands next year, I could prepare.
Yeah, they come out morning of for Midlands. Well, yeah, you'll have to be recording in line for weigh-ins. You'll be recording an episode. So
I can't wait until next week. When the brackets get released and Chick can do his homework and get like all the tendencies of all the guys who are wrestling.
I'm gonna need that scouting report 100%. Hey, listen, guys, it's always good to chat wrestling. All the fans, all the dozens of you out there that are listening right now, we appreciate you. Our guys appreciate you and your support. Let's talk brackets next week. Go Army.
Awesome. Thanks,
BHAW.
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 Thanks for tuning in to the BHAW Radio Show. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. If there's something you'd like to hear on a future show, reach out to us on any of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Or you can reach us at email, bhaw.radio@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and as always, go Army, be Navy.